Hello, my name is Rachel and today I'm going to be bringing you some of my recommendations for spooky Halloweeny reads for the coming holiday. So I'm going to start with two children's books that I absolutely love. The first one is Fright Club by Ethan Long, and this is absolutely adorable. So a 6-word summary for this one. Creepy critters, cute bunny, surprise ending. It is absolutely adorable. The pictures are amazing, and it would be a super fun read with your young ones this Halloween. Next up is A Creepy Pair of Underwear. This is by Aaron Reynolds and illustrated by Peter Brown, and again, another fantastic read with your little one. It's the perfect level of funny creepy that is not too scary for the little kids. 6-word summary for this one. Cute bunny buys scary underwear. Creepy. No. I don't like that. Okay. Bunny buys creepy underwear. What happens? No, that's still not good. Bunny, Frankenstein underwear, glow in dark. There you go. It's adorable. So cute. Aaron Reynolds also wrote Creepy Carrots, which was amazing as well. So a bonus recommendation for you there. Next up is a middle grade series by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller, and this is called Nightmares. This is really cute. I have a signed copy of this one, which is amazing, and I would recommend the audio version of this because Jason Segel narrates it, and it's even better. 6-word summary for this. Boy thinks stepmom is witch. There you go. And they go into this dream world. It's really amazing. I highly recommend it. Again, I think this would be a really good level of creepy for middle grade students. It's definitely a little bit spooky, and it kind of amps up the spooky from the picture books, but I don't think it would give anybody nightmares. Really good. Love it. Next up is The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin, and this is one of my absolute favorite books from when I was younger. It's so much fun. 6-word summary for this. Man dies, leaves will as game. There you go. Fantastic. If you haven't read it, this would be a perfect time to give that one a read. Next up is Neil Gaiman's The Graveyard Book. Again, absolutely fantastic. Another one I would recommend is an audiobook with Neil Gaiman narrating. It's fantastic. 6-word summary. Boy, murdered family, protected by ghosts. There you go. Fantastic. Love. Again, a great mix of just scary enough. It would very much get a kid in the mood, but this one is probably the scariest middle grade one that I've read, because there is legit murder. This kid's family does get murdered, but I'm not sure it'd give you nightmares. So if you're recommending this for your kid, you might want to browse it first to make sure, but I love this book. This would definitely be fine for, I would say, a teenager and above. Next up is a graphic novel story collection called Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. I love this book. I actually am wanting to reread it. I don't think I'm going to have time before Halloween, but I think this would be perfect just any time in the fall, but particularly Halloween because it is spooky. So I'm going to say graphic novel story collection, spooky, awesome. That's a horrible description, but it's hard to wrap up all these stories in 6 words, but they're all creepy in their own way. They're all different, but cohesive at the same time, which I love. And the artwork is phenomenal. It's even creepier than the words, so I highly recommend this. It would be great. Again, I would think this would be good for middle grade and above, especially teenagers. I think all teenagers would be able to handle this. Next up is One Was Lost by Natalie Richards. We read this, I think it was last year for our high school book club, and the kids really liked this. I would recommend this for high school kids and above. It might be a little too scary for middle grade students, for middle school kids. 6-word summary. Blair Witch Projectee, students hunted woods. I need in woods there, but we're gonna go with that. It's really creepy, fast-paced. I think I did predict the ending for this one, but it was still really fun getting there. I would highly recommend this, and the author was fantastic. She Skyped with us. She works in a library, so I think I don't know, she just gets the whole library vibe, and I think this is perfect for high school students because it is just scary enough. And honestly, I was a little worried it would be too scary for high school students. So if you are or you have a child who is very susceptible to very scary things, this might be too scary for them. But I really enjoyed it. The majority of my high school kids really, really liked it, and it's one I recommend often to my students. Next up is a newer release, and I would highly recommend if you're giving this to a child that you definitely look into it a little bit first. It has a lot of deep subject matter, and it's creepy in that it's so realistic. This is definitely not like ghost scary. This is like real scary, if that makes sense. But it is for a YA audience. However, adults would very much enjoy this. I, as an adult, very, very much enjoy this. And that is Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is told in 2 parts. One part is where we actually follow Sadie through a part of her life, and the other part is a podcast about Sadie after she's gone missing. And it is a lot of bad things happen to Sadie. So once again, please make sure you are ready for that. All the trigger warnings, I feel like, for this book, but it is so good. It's so gripping. And I bet the audiobook would be amazing. And I know that they actually have recorded the podcast parts, and you can listen to those on whatever device you get your podcast from. I believe the podcast is called The Girls, which is what it's called in the book. And it's so good. 6-word summary for this. Horrible things happen. Girl seeks revenge. Oh, I like that one. I like that one. So good. Highly recommend. But again, all of the trigger warnings. Next up is Asylum by Madeline Rowe. I would say this should be good for anybody that is in the teenage range. Because it's spooky, but I feel like at times it seems kind of hokey, so I think you can distance yourself from it. So I think it should be good for probably 13 and up. This is a series. There are, I believe, 4 books in the series, and then a short story collection. I think there's like 3 or 4 short stories in that collection. So it's kind of like this whole world, and I really, really enjoyed the series. It's very good. So Asylum by Madeline Rowe, 6 words. Students stay in spooky old college. I'll just leave it there. That's a horrible 6-word summary, but you can kind of get it by the title of Asylum, and I'm telling you it's kind of ghosty. Ghosty things happen. Ghosty things happen in old college. Oh, there you go. I like that better. I like that better. But it's really, really fun. I like the series. I highly recommend it. Perfect for Halloween. Next up is one that, again, is more like murder mystery thriller than spooky, but I feel like it is a perfect one for Halloween. I really enjoyed this book, and I think what I like to read about Halloween time is I like to read the ghost stuff. I definitely do, don't get me wrong, but I think ghosts and things don't really scare me. It's like psycho people that really scare me, because I feel like that's more realistic. Like, somebody could actually murder me. I don't think a ghost is going to murder me. So I find that a lot more spooky to read. So I'm going with The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. I thought this book was so haunting. It's a huge book, and it took me a while to get into, so if you're reading it for the first time, just stick with it. But it is so horrifying when you really, like, get into it. I just think this would be the perfect fall, cozy, spooky read. So, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Stieg Larsson. Spooky missing people from island found? Question mark? How about that? Oh my god, that's so horrible. That's so horrible. But I feel like you should know at this point what this book is about, and if you don't, just read it. You don't really want to know what it's about, because you want to go into it unknowing and just be surprised with the book. So definitely check that one out. Next up, I would recommend pretty much any Gillian Flynn book. I've read several of hers. I think the only one I haven't read yet is Sharp Objects, which I would like to correct very soon. But I would say Gone Girl is a really, really good pick. I'm just going to say this is like the best twist in a book I've read in a long time. I think you can kind of sense something's coming, but I'm not sure you expect this. So for the twist alone, I think this is a great murder mystery thriller novel. And also Dark Places, that was fantastic. That one was just like everything you'd want in a fall, spooky, creepy murder mystery thriller. So I'm going to do a 6-word summary for Dark Places. I'm going to say family tragedy, murder club, Netflix. Because they just put the show on Netflix and I watched it. That was a total bomb on those. But it's good. The whole premise follows this like this family murder mystery, and it's so interesting. You have to know what happens to them. Like, she just really draws you in, and you have to know, so you keep reading. So I would recommend pretty much any Gillian Flynn book, basically. And then next up is one that is also being televised right now. It has been turned into a series on Lifetime, and that is You by Caroline Kepnes. This book is so creepy. Oh my goodness. So I'm not going to tell you too much, but it's told in second person, so that's why it's called You. Everything is directed towards you, the reader. Like, you walked into the bookstore. You look fantastic today. And if you listen to the audiobook, it's even more chilling because it seems like the main character is literally talking to you. Like, you are the person in the book. So creepy. So I feel like I basically told you more than I needed to. 6-word summary. Bookstore boy likes strange girl. We'll leave it like that. Yes, we'll leave it like that. I hope you enjoy it. And next up, I have some nonfiction picks that I just think would be fantastic. First up is a shout out to a local author. It's called Queen City Gothic by J.T. Townsend. This book is just a collection of murders and unsolved crimes around Cincinnati, and it's really interesting. He does give kind of his own opinion, but the stories themselves are very fascinating, especially since I'm from Cincinnati. But I think it's kind of a fun read. It would be perfect to read right now with all these like spooky unsolved mysteries. So Queen City Murder Mysteries Not Solved. We'll leave it like that. That's as good as that one's gonna get. Next up is The Borden Murders, Lizzie Borden and the Trial of the Century. And this is by Sarah Miller. This is a nonfiction-based collection of information presented in a YA format. So it's very attainable information about Lizzie Borden. And if you do not know Lizzie Borden, like, get with it. So I feel like any famous murder would be perfect for now, but I just read this one recently, within like the last year or so I thought it would be a perfect recommendation, and I had just recommended it to a student at the high school, and they loved it. So 6-word summary: Lizzie Borden took an axe and... No, I'm not gonna do that to you. Lizzie Borden did it or not. Oh, but I feel like that's true for anything. But that's basically what the book is about. It's just more information about the story. So, highly recommend. And last up are the World of Lore series by Aaron Mahnke. He has 3 books out right now. There's Monstrous Creatures, Dreadful Places is the new one, and Wicked Mortals was the middle one. And basically, it's just a collection version of the podcast. So if you listen to the Lore podcast, you will very much like these. But it's all just little snippets, little short story essay pieces about how different folklores around the world have come to be. And I like the books even better than the podcast because they're cohesive. They're collected into similar groupings. So all the ones about different creatures are in the first book with the red cover, Monstrous Creatures. And then within that, they're split up into different categories. So like all the vampire ones are put together in one little section. So I feel like it gives you a more cohesive read, and it's really, really fun to see how places all around the world have had vampire myths and how they're similar and how they're different across what time period. So I just really, really love these books. They're fantastic. So I'm going to say myths and lores researched and presented. That's a horrible 6-word summary, but they're fantastic. Highly recommend them. Perfect time to be getting into some folklore. All right, there you have it. Some recommendations for you to get you in the Halloweeny mood. Definitely leave any recommendations you have down below. I'm always looking for creepy new Halloween reads, as I'm sure everybody is at this point. So definitely leave those down below. We'd love to hear them. And thank you so much for watching, and happy Halloween!